Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allows you to record and edit your broadcast so it sounds great. And they even distribute your broadcast for you so that it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
This is FET News. Hi everyone, I'm your host, Damian Anderson, and here are your FET News for this week. There are 2 brand new episodes on Monday, January 6th, so make sure you tune in. My new show, Afternoon Talk with Damian Anderson, has been postponed until further notice. Brunch Talk with Andrew Frett is back on IG Live on Tuesday, January 7th, and also on Twitter Live on Wednesday, January 8th, so make sure you tune in. Brand new episodes of Future Educators Talk comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure you subscribe so you get notified every time there is a new episode. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Facebook at Future Educators Talk, on Twitter at Future Ed Talk, and on Instagram at Future Educators Talk. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Future Educators Talk. And make sure to hit that bell to get notified when new episodes comes out, because if you don't, then you are certainly missing out. So that's it from me. So make sure you listen in to today's episode of Future Educators Talk.
Welcome to Future Educators Talk. This is the first episode of the new year, the first episode of the new decade, yes, oh yes, of 2020. And I am your host, Andrew Frett. As you can hear, Jamie Anderson is out today. He'll be back in a later episode. So today, I'm going to be talking about how to address tough topics in the staff meetings and also in the classroom. So we're going to talk about that. So let's just hop right into it. I'm reading an article by edutopia.org. So let's just hop right into it. So here's how to get started addressing a tough issue or the elephant in the room. You can state the topic by, like I just said, let's talk about the elephant that's in the room. Or I like to talk about this certain topic. And then you have to state an intention for the conversation. And then acknowledge fear. It's okay to have that fear. So make sure you acknowledge that fear in the classroom. When you brought it up in the classroom and also in staff meetings. And also tell them why you fear. Tell them why. So that they can have a better understanding of why. Communicate confidence that the event can be discussed. Make sure you share your beliefs. That is worth it. Okay. You don't have your belief, then who knows what's going to that confidence. You got to have that confidence to to talk about that elephant in the room. Also, you got to feel that trust as well. You have to share the impact that the elephant is having on you and the consequences of not addressing it. So it's basically like cause and effect, right there. Talk about the impact about the issue, and then talk about the consequences of not talking about the topic that needs to be addressed. Ask others how others can see the situation and the impact that the elephant is. So basically, ask them, what do you think is going on here? Or why do you think we might be having the challenges we're having? Those type of questions needs to be asked when talking about the elephant in the room. Because if those questions don't be asked, then nothing will get done, or the topic will be solved in a sense of way. Also, remind the group that addressing the elephant is not the same as solving it. So you have to, in order to solve the topic, addressing the topic is by solving it. Okay? It's like a piece of the puzzle. Like, you have 100 pieces, you have 99 pieces of puzzle, but you only have one piece left to finish the puzzle. You can't say, oh, I finished the puzzle, but you only got one piece of the puzzle left. That's not solving the puzzle. Same instance here. You just talk about the topic, you're just addressing the issue, but you're not doing anything to address it. Like, you have to do something. Like, y'all need to get together as a team, or talk to your co-workers or your grade level team and figure out a way to solve this issue, or to solve this elephant in the room. Because again, if it's not addressed, then nothing will get done. Okay. Also, during the conversation, make sure you listen to other and ask others to do the same. And also make sure you pause the group along the way to make space for questions, because I'm pretty sure some people have questions. So that way it can be addressed. So that way it can be addressed, the topic or the problems in the schools, without listening and engaging. So make sure you ask questions. If you have a question, ask away. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, it's not like you're going to get it wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. If you have a question about the topic, about the issue, ask away. I'm pretty sure they will have an answer for any questions that you may have. So yeah. So those are the ways. Now you may think why teachers don't address the elephant that's in the room, because they don't address the elephant because they're afraid. They're afraid that they don't know how to talk about the sticky issues, or we're afraid that we made something that they may say something horribly wrong, and that, you know, the relationship with others with the coworkers might suffer. So it's a good idea to address y'all's fear. But in order to do that, y'all need to have a plan or a blueprint. Y'all need to lay out a blueprint to address y'all's fears, and also to so that y'all can address the elephant in the room. So, yes. So that was. So that is the topic of how to address topics in the staff meetings and also in the classrooms. Also, I'm going to talk about another topic, which is 7 strategies to keep students motivated. Yes, oh yes. All year long. So I'm going to talk about 7 strategies to keep students motivated. Number 1 is the classroom environment. Again, you got to have that classroom management, because if you don't have a classroom management, then it's gonna go downhill. Okay, you run the classroom, your students don't run the classroom. Okay, you got to have the classroom environment, especially when students are back from winter break. Yeah, you're gonna have to remind them of the classroom rules. Hello, because you know they've been out for 2 weeks. Yeah, for about 2 weeks. So you're gonna have to remind them the classroom rules of that. So that's number one. That's number 1 of that. Number 2, strategies to build commitment. The first step is to help students set goals. SMART. If you don't know what SMART is, it is I know what SMART is. I'm trying to say this word correctly. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. So it's a good idea to ask your students, probably like at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like before they leave to another class, what you learned this week. Probably like every Friday. Exit ticket. There we go. That's a good exit ticket right there. Is what do you learn this week? And I would probably do it, for me as a future teacher, I would probably do it every Friday. What did you learn this week? Number 3, basically get them on track. Because there are some students that's gonna get distracted at some point. And many procrastinate. I'm a partial guide here too, so I feel the same. So so make sure make sure the students keep them on track. Yes. Number 4, strategies to boost student interest. Basically, have your lesson basically have your lesson be interesting, so that way it can boost your students' interest in your class. Because if your lessons are not interesting, I would say probably 9 times out of 10 they would probably go to sleep. So make sure your lessons are interesting and thoughtful, because if not, then they're just gonna be bored, and nobody likes a bored class. Like, really, no one. Now, if you're one of those persons that likes a bored class, or likes a class that is boring, then I don't know what to say. Really, I really don't know what to say. So yeah. Number 5, strategies to handle negative emotions. Negative emotions. Trying to find a way. Basically, have them write down probably like a do now or a bell work. Kind of like reflect on their mood. Like, ask them, hey, create a like what are you struggling in school right now, so that I can help you. Like, why are you feeling frustrated in my class? So that could be another about work question here. Another one is, which is lead up to number 6, the strategies to build positive learning environments, is, ask students of these questions: who do I work well with? Who don't I work well with, and why? Creating a positive learning environment. Oh, this is I'm reading an article by kqed.org. Creating a positive learning environment will allow the environment to be an effective place for learning. Okay. Learning is school is a positive place. It's a positive place. And last but not least is visualize the future. Visualize the future. Visualize the future. So, sorry about that. Visualize the future. So basically, have your students probably like at the start of the school year, have your students create a vision board. I was a TA for Mr. I was a TA for Mr. Blacknall's class 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, I was a TA for Mr. Blacknall's class 2 years ago. And basically, at the start of the school year, he had his students create a vision board, and basically is, where do you see yourself in the next five or so years? It's kind of like a project, and then they present it to the class. I kind of like that idea because that's kind of like setting a goal for yourself. It's kind of like setting a goal for yourself. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? And my voice is not okay. I'm a little grouchy. Yeah, so it's like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or so years? So I kind of like that idea. So make sure. So if you haven't already, make sure you have your students visualize the future. Where do they see themselves in the next, after high school or after middle school. So that's a great idea. So that is going to be it. This is a 2-in-1 episode. So you got 2 episodes, two topics in one episode. So that's going to be it for me. On the next Future Educators Talk, me and Damian will be talking about making plans for teens to manage stress before school starts. So we're going to be talking about that on Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Of course, I am your host, Andrew Frett, and for the question of the day on today, let's see if I can find it. My voice is not okay. Which is I don't have the question of the day. Okay, so the question of the day is, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so the first question of the day is, how do you facilitate different conversations in the classrooms? That was the first one. How to address tough topics, or the elephant in the room. Elephant in the room, in the classrooms and in staff meetings. And for the second part is, does motivation affect student learning? So those are the two questions of the day. You can answer those questions on our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram by using the hashtag Future Educators Talk, and also Future Educators Talk S2. That is it. That is going to be it for today. I know this is going to be a short episode.
But don't you worry, Debbie Anderson will be back. My good old friend Debbie Anderson will be back. He'll be back on Wednesday. So I am your co-host, Andrew Frett, and this is Future Educators.
Don't just listen to Future Educators Talk on your smartphone. Continue the conversation online. Like us on Facebook. Be a part of the conversation by telling us what you think. Join us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content. And follow along on Twitter to stay up to date with what's happening on our podcast and beyond. It's you who keeps Future Educators Talk going. So like, comment, share, and connect everywhere with us. You get social. Let's listen.